Hey guys, Jin here with another episode of the podcast. Gotta read them all. Um, we are on chapter 31. Uh,
The
was
art of Articuno.
okay. I was like, I'm trying to find the page where it starts, but I don't know where it's at. Um, and
Man, can I just say something?
as you heard with me as always is Otaku Mike.
Can I just say something? I know, I've talked about this before,
Yeah.
but the names of the English chapters versus the names of the Japanese chapters are just on point. I would have to say, because the Japanese chapters are so and so Pokemon versus whatever Pokemon. In this,
Oh yeah.
they at least take some time and come up with something really freaking creative.
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean, that's just me, but I love the wordplay that
I
they
didn't
have.
I didn't know that in the
Yeah,
Japanese one that they yeah. Oh, that
I
would suck.
I found that out from listening to another podcast that
Yeah.
covers the Pokemon manga.
Oh my god.
They're
Yeah,
called
all these ones I feel like are pretty catchy.
I guess shameless plug. No, I don't know if I want to plug them on the podcast. It's like the Pokemon Adventures podcast. I believe is what it's called. They just
Oh,
cover the Pokemon manga. That's all they cover.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like these two guys.
That's crazy. They're gonna
Yeah,
run it out at some point though.
they're gonna run out. What are you talking about?
They're gonna run out of Pokemon chapters to cover at some point.
I mean, they go kind of slow. They're around, I think, where we are a little bit, little, further than us. I would say.
Oh. So we're gonna
Yeah,
have to
they
cover
they
faster.
they they started last year,
Oh yeah.
and they've slowed down quite a bit. So I don't know if life just got in the way or whatever.
You should be
But
like, hey guys,
I
you guys
listened to
wanna come
their
on? You wanna come on to the podcast?
I listen to their podcasts occasionally to just get a refresher of reading the what I've read before
Yeah.
when we're covering it sometimes, and it's interesting to see what other people think of the manga
Yeah.
and whatnot.
So the art of Articuno.
Yeah.
Oh, I just did the ninja fingers without thinking about it. Damn
Oh, did you try to summon your jutsu?
it. Yeah. Um. So we come into this from the last chapter. Red defeated Lieutenant Surge and is running forward up the stairs to go find Blue, and a muck grabs a hold of Red,
Mm-hmm.
and Koga kind of tells him his plan is that he is going to um, cut Blue's head off.
He's gonna decapitate him.
Yeah, which multi-purpose wings here with Golbat, because I mean, obviously,
This is my question, which I had was, how sharp are Golbat's wings?
I don't
Like,
think they're that sharp.
so how is he gonna cut?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just a thing for the book.
But he said he was gonna use razor wing. I think it was.
Yeah,
So maybe that's what he's going to use to cut Blue's head off.
but to me, Razor Wing is something that would have already hurt somebody, you know. So that's one of the things that throws me off with that is we've seen Razor Wing used sometimes, and it'll cut somebody's clothing or do a little thing on their skin, you know, like a little scratch.
Yeah.
But it's is Razor Wing really that good? Because we've never actually seen it really damage anything.
I don't know, but I still think it's funny that he's wearing Golbat as a watch.
Yeah.
Like a big giant watch.
I mean, he's using him. He's got another Grimer as his shoulder pads. And he's got the Ekans as his other rope thingy.
Yeah.
And then he's got this muck and the other Grimer somewhere.
Which I thought that'd be kind of cool if they incorporated that into the video game.
You could attach Pokemon on yourself somewhere.
Yeah. That would be kind of cool.
So, and only would do the little ones, so if they grew too big, it'd be a problem.
Yeah, but Blue is knocked out.
Blue
Uh,
is like, you know
at the
what it
start.
kind of makes me think? Have you seen any of the Pokemon evolution drawings where it'll be like the person when they first get like a baby Pokemon,
No,
and
no, I haven't. I don't think I have. No.
it'll be like them sleeping in a bed together, and they'll be like holding on to like that baby Pokemon, or it'll be like curled up
Uh
to
huh.
them.
Yeah.
And then the next one is like both of them kind of like laying beside each other. And the last one is always like a freakishly big Pokemon, and then they're just like taking up the entire bed.
No, I've never seen that. I have
Yeah,
to
there's
say,
like bunches of them.
I've never seen that. No, but Blue's about to get his head taken off, and
So here's a question for you.
yeah.
On this panel where Koga says say goodbye, how
Hmm.
is he expecting to use the back of Golbat's wings when he's facing forward to cut his head off?
Maybe, like maybe what the one of Goldback's wings is like kind of move like forward a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think the artist was taking a little bit of liberties with the Pokemon world
Oh, we know he's taken a couple
in
of
this
liberties, okay?
situation. Like
Um,
I want to know how much was actually like approved by the Pokemon company.
right. Um, but after the Grimer is basically gone from Blue, Koga
Hmm.
is going for his final attack to cut off his head, and Blue opens one of his Pokeballs to have Pidgeot basically hit Koga. Kind of looks like he got him in the groin.
Like he got him like in the stomach area. I feel like stomach, maybe
Yeah,
groin area,
yeah.
and Koga
He's
definitely takes
oh
a hit.
yeah. Which we have the necklace that Gary that Blue always wears. Is
Is this
actually
necklace special?
it is, yeah. In this,
Okay.
I don't know if originally it was special.
Okay, because I was
Uh,
so confused. I was kind of using my meta knowledge of Pokemon, and I was like, "Well, that he does wear the like the medallion or whatever it is,
yeah,
necklace all
like
the
a lot.
time." Yeah,
Which I didn't know it's got reflective properties or that it was like a locket, so a picture
yeah,
could be in it.
yeah.
I didn't know either
It,
one of those.
it ends up breaking. Sad to say. I wonder if it had Professor Oak's picture in it.
It does right there on the bottom.
Does it? Oh, it does, doesn't it? Oh, I missed that completely.
Aren't you
Oh,
glad? Aren't you glad we cover this stuff together?
yeah, yeah. I'm totally glad. You know.
So Koga, being frustrated and upset about this somewhat losing the battle,
Hmm.
but all in the war thing, throws out Articuno.
Yes.
Which this
Giant
is like
ice chicken.
right. Which this is one of the ones that we kind of talked about. Last one is that we didn't really know how like Surge was controlling Zapdos, and
Hmm.
now we're kind of like we don't know how Articuno is being controlled by Koga either.
That's true.
Um, Especially from what Koga brings up, because he does bring up like Articuno saved you at one point on the Seafoam Island, and now the same Pokemon that basically saved you is about to kill you.
It's an
Uh,
irony, he says. An
right,
irony.
right.
Yeah.
Um, so we have that. Um, he ends up basically like trying to freeze him out, I
Hmm.
guess. Um,
Yeah, he
which
does
to
because he
me,
uses like Blizzard or whatever. Ice Beam, I
yeah,
think it is.
yeah, he uses Ice Beam and then he uses Blizzard to try and freeze more of the room. Um,
Yeah, and this is where we get the point where Blue makes like it doesn't make sense at all. Like, how are they controlling these Pokemon so easily?
See, and the
You know.
weird thing is like if you look at the one where the panel where he uses Ice Beam, go
Hmm.
down two to red, where
Hmm.
he's in the Grimer's clutches, and all of the
Yeah.
ice is melting off of him. And
Oh, it is. Yeah.
if you look right above his head, it goes.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we don't. If you're reading it and you don't automatically know what that is, I feel like that is a really, really good thing to have went back and read this like a second time, because you notice little things like that. But anyway, Koga uses Blizzard. He's like, I'm going to freeze him out. I'm going to use this whole thing. But before he does that, he lets them know what the thing is. And between the four badges that Surge, Sabrina, Koga, and their boss,
Their mysterious boss.
mysterious boss, the badges all allow you to basically control Pokemon.
Yeah.
And the more badges you have, the higher your control of them are.
Which that
Which
was in the game.
it kind of is in the game, yes.
Yeah. Like every
Um,
badge you got lets you control higher level Pokemon.
yeah, like in increments of 10. If your
Yeah.
friendship, quote unquote, your friendship wasn't high enough with them,
Did they do
which
that in the show?
the no. And it wasn't really that big of a thing that was relevant in the game either. I think until oh, what was it? I think when I played the white Pokemon, Arceus, when we
Mm-hmm.
played the Arceus game or whatever,
Yeah.
I had one that was too high for me. Like I didn't have enough stuff done. And
Mm-hmm.
it was almost like in rampage mode, like when you have a Pokemon that gets angry
Yeah.
and they on their moves list, it just automatically will use something off of it.
Uh-huh.
And I had a Pokemon that was too strong for me and it would do that. So
Which
whenever he was in battle, I could either swap or I could hit him to attack and he would automatically pick some random move on his thing and
in
attack.
in the manga, like Koga talks about, he says each badge contains a form of energy that heightens a Pokemon's power and empowers the badge holder to control any Pokemon.
Right.
What power are they infusing into these badges that they're given to children?
I don't know. I mean, it's got to be something like the how the Pokeballs come from a nut. It's got to be
Yeah,
like some kind of stone.
maybe.
Oh yeah, I have so many of these stones that. And the other thing is though, that would also make you think like, does every gym leader, because they have to have more than one badge, right?
Yeah,
I mean, to hand out to all the people,
yeah,
would that give them the power automatically, like having like, I don't know, 10 of their own badges, like create a force?
yeah,
Like, does it spill over?
yeah. Maybe
So
I don't, or maybe it just they don't. It doesn't like you have to get all the badges in order to like just not having one badge probably doesn't like
right.
one of like the same kind of badge doesn't help, you know.
Yeah, or maybe they're made out of different stones
Yeah, maybe, you know.
and they play off of each other's powers.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what it is.
maybe.
um But we have Articuno basically using Blizzard, spinning around. Um, Red is starting to freeze. Blue's running around, and
I love this.
the
I love
snow
this scene
finally
where they're.
starts kind of catching up to him.
I love the scene where they're starting to freeze and freak out.
Both of them,
Like, yeah, both of them. Like Red starts to freak out like the most because he's still
yeah,
being held captive, like by Koga, technically, I believe.
right. So Koga hits a hole in the wall, which plays into stuff, and then
Hmm.
we get up to where you were talking about where they freeze.
Yes,
Um,
and they
they're
both end up
frozen.
freezing, frozen solid.
Yeah, Koga like brings up like, oh, why am I sweating? Because it's supposed to be so cold, which
Hmm.
big boys like you and I think even when it's cold, we still sweat outside, okay?
Depends on what we're doing.
Who knows? What are you
I would
doing?
say you never know.
And he turns back around after getting hit in the back,
Oh,
and
it's a thunk
yeah,
that like he is hit in the
tong,
fucking back. Yeah, tongue.
twong.
He is hit in the
Um,
back.
he turns around, he's like, oh, "You are frozen." Um, and we see that Blue's got his Porygon out.
Yeah, which we never really see Porygon's battle, which is kind of cool to see. even for a split second, Porygon like
Yeah, well, and
fighting.
we haven't seen Porygon since like he got him from the gambling house or whatever.
Yeah, I totally forgot he got it because you can get the Porygon from the gambling house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but he actually, when the hull opened up, which I think is probably why he got caught, he actually threw Charizard out to catch the building on
hmm
fire.
Yeah, he did. That's what
Um,
he says.
so he almost made it like,
A
uh,
furnace.
yeah, a furnace in an icebox.
Yeah.
Um, so then we have Porygon use Tri Attack, and Pikachu use Thunder Shock to attack Koga, knock him out, and we get where Koga's badge falls out of his hand, and
Blue picks it up.
Blue picks it up and decides that he's going to give it to Red. He says, you go upstairs after they hear some noise that's up there, and he can't get Goldbat's mentality thing to show him what's going on like we did when they were outside of the
Yeah.
barrier.
No,
And
it's
so he
Gold Duck.
picks up,
It's Gold Duck.
yeah, Golduck. And then
Yeah.
Goldbat, he finally does get him to show him where Professor Oak is.
I love this little panel where Red, he's because Red's always so hot headed,
Yeah.
and he's like, you didn't have to flame the whole building. It's so hot in here. And you see like them all like burnt and it's like smoke coming off of them and stuff.
Right. Well, and I think it's funny that they are burnt because they didn't before when they were frozen. They didn't have scorch marks on them.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like one little thing that gets added into it, and it's like, wait,
hmm
when were y'all by a fire?
Yeah, yeah. And we
So
ended up seeing Professor Oak tied up through
in the basement,
the gold bat mirror or whatever it is that he's got going on.
yes,
But this is where Red says it sounds like a girl, like a girl green. Wait.
sounds like a girl, and he thinks that it's green
Oh, it's
because
green. Okay, okay, yeah.
he knows her voice. Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute, he's talking to blue, not green. He's talking to blue.
yeah,
And yeah, he
um,
does get the soul badge,
yeah,
and they end up going their separate ways. Blue goes to the basement, and Red goes to the next floor, and that's where this chapter ends, leading
right.
into, I'm guessing, the final fight, which
Yeah,
is
the final few stuff
the
that
final few stuff
happens,
with Sabrina and Green.
right? And then our surprise end at the end of that chapter that comes
Man,
up.
I'm flipping through this, and I'm like, God,
I already did that.
these chapters are gonna be like on fire.
Right?
Like, oh my God. Oh, I see Snorlax. I see Snorlax. I mean, anyways. I'm super hyped now.
Well, and we're about to get to the point where you actually finish your first book.
Yes.
So
It's just a few more chapters.
you're like, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, yeah. So a little upset that we didn't get to see the rest of the fight with Sabrina in this chapter, but that's one more
Nine
chapter.
more chapters.
That's one more chapter to come back and listen to the podcast.
Yeah. But
And
sorry, you were saying, sorry to interrupt, you were saying
about what?
about Sabrina and stuff and all that.
Oh, there's uh you know one more reason to come back to the next episode of the podcast and listen to what's going to happen with Green and Sabrina.
But what did you think about this particular chapter?
It was good.
Yeah.
um I liked it, but I also feel like it should have been like a continuation from the last one.
I mean, it kind of was a continuation.
um but like part of the last chapter,
Oh,
like I
part of the
feel like
last
a
chapter. Like you
yeah.
could have had maybe like an extra long chapter. Just put these as one chapter.
Yes, yes. And I mean, and we've talked about that before. Like, I feel like it should be broken up into like chapters as events that are happening instead
hmm
of like individual things that are happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're reading like individual storylines here, and I think it would just make more sense to put them together like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Of course, we
Uh,
wouldn't get all the witty names in, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's also kind of interesting because the way we're covering it, we're
Right,
covering in little batches and
right.
stuff. And, you know, I mean, I like this chapter. I feel like it was just as good as the last chapter.
I agree.
It's good to see red and green and red and blue work together. Um,
Right.
I love that, and seeing like just seeing like how different they are in their fighting styles and stuff, and like there's like a distinct difference between them, and Blue is
Yeah,
obviously the superior at this moment, superior trainer at this moment, I would say, because he got both him and Red out of the ice box.
yeah,
But yeah, I like the explanation of the the badges. That was really interesting to see that they actually brought that into like the lore of the Pokemon like manga,
yeah.
because like you said, that's not really touched upon at
No.
all.
Well, and the other thing that I'm kind of questioning too, right now, if we're counting it,
Hmm.
why wasn't why wasn't Red able to control Articuno in this instant? Because he had four badges walking into the front door.
Maybe he didn't have like.
And when he defeated Surge, he should have had five.
Well, he does when he defeats Surge. He does take Surge's badge,
Right.
but when he fought Surge the first time, I don't think he grabbed his badge.
No, but he's got the other four.
Yeah.
He's got Blaine's, he's got Erica's, he's got Misty's, and he's got Brock's.
Did he actually get Blaine's?
Yeah, because Blaine gave it to him when they were on the island.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, he does have four badges. Maybe their badges aren't as powerful as like these guys.
I don't know.
I mean, technically, like, isn't Blaine towards the end of the badge lists?
Yeah, Blaine, I think, is like seventh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
So
Who knows? Maybe it's a plot hole, that we're dealing with in this situation.
it's the plot hole that Jen Graves found out. I need an
Yeah.
apology note from the author telling me that he is very sorry about about trying to fool the Otakuology podcast with his tricks.
Write notes to Hidinario Kasaka? Kusaka? I don't know. I probably butchered that.
Hidenori.
Hidenori Kasaka.
Yeah, Kusaka.
Write your angry letters to him. Because I think he's still writing the manga. I think. I
I'm
don't
gonna be like,
remember.
hey buddy. Hey buddy.
Hey,
So
hey,
I got a
you
question
listen
for you.
here. Remember that book you wrote over 25 years ago?
Exactly. And then I'm gonna go, but I won't be angry with you if you add me as a character into one of your mangas. I only got to make like a in the background appearance.
Yeah. Um,
Then I can be like, "Look, Mike, I'm in this," and you'll be like, "That's not you.
that's not you. It's somebody else.
That's not you. I
But
mean,
I
it looks
like
like you, but that's not you."
I like it that we're wrapping up this story and we're getting something bigger. Continuing to build up because, like you said before, like I do feel like there was a little drag within a part of like the Pokemon manga
Right.
when we were getting to like the islands and stuff, and
Well, and I also just think like since we're covering it chapter by chapter, like we're having to take this in like little bite-sized pieces
yeah,
and then talk about it. And so regurgitating part of the things of like, "Oh, well, I like this," like is kind of hard for us to do because it's like, oh well, I didn't. You can't exactly like throw out like the best parts of those things because we're reading it chapter by chapter, and so instead of the whole thing being collectively together, and being able to pull out parts from that, we can't exactly do that.
Unless we start covering like 2 chapters at once or 3 chapters, you know.
What's
But
the fun in that?
I know, right? I know. But yeah, I feel like this is a good podcast and a good chapter, like in
Right?
my personal opinion. I think Koga is an asshole.
Did
And
you? So since we haven't seen the end of Green's fight yet, did
uh-huh.
you like Koga's fight more than Lieutenant Surge's fight? Between
Mm,
both of these two, which one did you like more?
I kind of like Koga a little bit more because
Okay.
of the way they got out of it.
Yeah.
Um,
See, and I just had to say I like Lieutenant Surge's more.
I mean that's
And
fair.
the only reason why I like his more is because we know it was the Ivysaur leaves, like it was
Hmm.
the playing field advantage of how it happened
Yeah.
versus almost like the fluke of having a necklace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because
Oh,
if that
I
if that
get you.
necklace would have moved at all, like he would have been knocked out.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the Koga one a little bit more because it it really showed like a different characteristic to Blue
Right.
and like how like he had to go after Koga. Wow, Koga is still holding hostage
Yeah.
Red. So we had to work around that. I feel
Blue
like
Blue has to pretend to get his ass beat.
pretend to get his ass beat. He was playing possum.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I like both of them. I thought both of them are really well done.
Yeah.
I even like those little short Sabrina Green fight that we got. The first part of that. I feel like they've definitely gotten to some formidable foes,
Right.
and I like that. Like I like that our characters have to work towards something. They're not just like super overpowered. They have to work through the fight and figure things out and troubleshoot
Right.
and problem shoot stuff. I don't want my characters to be so overpowered they can just get through things easily.
I don't want a Goku.
I
I want
don't
a
I don't want a
Naruto.
Goku, okay?
I want a Naruto or something like that where he has to work for his
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this and I can't wait to continue to the next chapter, you know?
Yeah.
So
Well,
as always, go ahead.
stay tuned
Stay tuned.
for another awesome episode of Gotta Read 'em All,
Yeah.
chapter 32.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.